First day of lockdown, we have our first work meeting on Teams. How's everyone? How's everyone? Teams, blah, blah, blah. And this one's, you're muted. Susan, you are muted. Someone please phone Susan. Someone. Can you hear me now? So it's like, this is the comedy. This is the comedy right here. This is what we're all going through this.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, there's 3 wigs. There's a Susan, blonde one. There's Mel, the frozen one. There's Brett, the goofed guy with the other guys. And then there's Robert, who wears glasses, big glasses. Actually, my grandfather's glasses, literally his glasses from when he was back in the day, I don't know when. His big glasses, and go back to the screen. That's Robert. Good morning, team. How are you guys this morning? That's where comedy on social media properly started for me, because those videos, I just put one out, and it was like, everyone's sharing them everywhere. Even to this day, people say, Rory, please bring back those COVID videos. Please bring back those COVID videos. We're just 4 people talking cuck for 3 minutes every day about what they never ever got. No one ever knew what they did no one ever knew what the company did. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
They just spoke crap about crap and about the lockdown laws, and that's where comedy on social media started for me. I thought, you know what? This is really cool. Like, I can be funny on a screen as well with people that aren't really there.
One of the most influential figures in philosophy and literature in the late 19th century, Fyodor Dostoevsky, said that laughter is the unconscious unmasking of a person. So let me ask you, when was the last time that you laughed? You laughed so hard that your stomach ached, that your eyes watered. The power of laughter and the value of a sense of humor is not to be understated, and that is why today I have with me comedian Rory Petzer. And in this episode, Rory outlines the importance of comedy and how humor is a quintessential part of what it means to be South African. And just as a litmus test, if I had to tell you not to touch me on my studio or to pull your stomach in, chest out, you would know exactly what I was saying. We cover his 10-year journey into mainstream comedy and what happened over the last 10 years. Countless days of effort going unnoticed before finally, after a decade, finding his feet and stepping into mainstream comedy. If you want to laugh along and you want a light episode that is just about seeing the funny side of life, then this episode is definitely for you. Check Rory out on all his social media handles that I have attached in the show notes, and like, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Rory Petzer, welcome to the show, man. Lovely to have you.
Cool to be here. Really, really nice to be here. Thanks for having me. Really excited.
Yeah, as am I. So I must say, in my prep, going through, things that we can chat about, it's been one of the most exciting episodes to prep, because we're going to chat about comedy. And laughter is like the elixir of life, just to laugh at things and see the funny side of things and to have a sense of humor. And it's infectious, and it raises the energy and the vibration in a room. So just by going through things like what makes people laugh, listening to other comedians, listening to some of the stuff that you've put up. You've got an ever-growing and expanding profile on Instagram, for example. It's just been so much fun prepping for this.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you for all the laughs you've given me in the last week, just by me going through all your Instagram and stuff.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for going through my Instagram. Please feel free to stalk me as much as you want.
So tell me, man, tell me about the journey so far in comedy for you.
So comedy itself started about 12 years ago in a place called Eberga, PE, Port Elizabeth. I was drunk at an open night or open mic night, comedy nights, and they have it every month. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure I can be funny. Sign me up for next month. I'll do next month. Wow, I'll be on next month. And the next morning, I woke up, my friends were like, oh, damn, did I sign up for this? Like, yeah, you're doing comedy next month at the Music Kitchen in PE. It's like, there was a place called. It's like, okay, now what? No, just be yourself, just be funny. So literally, my first comedy gig was in August 2013. I had a piece of paper. I wasn't scarred. I had a piece of paper with my jokes on it, and I read from the piece of paper that night. I had my jokes there. I'm like, okay, first story is this. Second story is this. And I'm like, oh, you were so good, but just lose the paper. I'm like, no, I can't lose the paper because I'm going to forget my jokes. And eventually, I think for the first 2 or 3 years of doing comedy in Port Elizabeth, Eastern Cape area, when I was still like very junior, I would have a piece of paper hidden somewhere, like with my jokes on or gags on one-liners or whatever. And I started to develop away from that. And then now, when I do comedy, I can do like an hour and 15-minute set even, thank you so much. But now I have my paper with me, but it's not inside, it's in my back pocket, just as a crutch. So I always have to have my paper with my jokes on, in my pocket somewhere, so it's a crutch. If I forget where I am, just go, okay, but I've never needed to do that. That's where comedy itself started. And then comedy on social media started probably in earnest during the pandemic. I started a thing called Meetings in a Time of Corona. So the day before lockdown, I said, okay, tomorrow you're not going anywhere, you're stuck at home. Like you're stuck at home doing nothing, you make beer from pineapples and cup, you're staying at home, you're doing nothing. So I said, okay, I need to think of a way to do content. So I went to the crazy store and I bought 3 wigs. I had no idea what I was going to do with those wigs, I just bought 3 wigs. There was a blonde one, what's that, mermaid, princess something, Frozen.
Oh,
Frozen, yes, that one.
Yeah.
And a black curly one. So I sat at home, I was like, okay, I'm making content, I don't know what I'm doing yet. First day of lockdown, we have our first work meeting on Teams. How's everyone? Teams, blah, blah, blah. And this one's... You're muted. Susan, you are muted. Someone please phone Susan. Someone... Can you hear me now? So it's like, this is the comedy. This is the comedy right here. This is what we're all going through this.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, there's 3 wigs. There's a Susan, blonde one. There's Mel, the frozen one. There's Brett, the goofed guy with the... How's it, guys? And then there's Robert, who wears glasses, big glasses. Actually, my grandfather's glasses, literally his glasses from when he was back in the day, I don't know when. His big glasses, and go back to the screen, that's Robert. Good morning, team. How are you guys this morning? That's where comedy on social media properly started for me, because those videos, I just put one out, and it was like, everyone's sharing them everywhere. Even to this day, people say, Rory, please bring back those COVID videos. Please bring back those COVID videos. We're just 4 people talking cuck for 3 minutes every day about what they never ever got. No one ever knew what they did no one ever knew what the company did. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
They just spoke crap about crap, and about the lockdown laws, and that's where comedy on social media started for me. I thought, you know what, this is really cool. Like, I can be funny on a screen as well with people that aren't really there. Then we had to do comedy shows during COVID on Zoom. I don't know if you, dude, that was the worst thing in the world, because now, when you're in a room doing comedy, okay, it's just like with anything, with any performance, anything, you feel the energy of the room, and you know, you give them what they want, and you can feel the way that's going. When you're doing comedy to a screen, like literally your screen, there's no one laughing at you, like you're laughing at your own jokes. Are they laughing? Are they listening to you? Are they tuned out? Like, what are they actually doing? Terrible, really, really difficult doing comedy on Zoom. And I thought, you know what? I can do this comedy thing on social media, and I can do it in real life, so I'm going to carry on doing it. Just keep on doing it. Pandemic ended, developed other characters, did other things on social media, and now I've got my champions thing going. I have champions everywhere, the Springboks. So yeah, comedy's been a long, long journey for me, and I'll say it's only really clicked into place the last year or two, 2 years probably, where it's really clicked into place, where I know exactly, like I know my voice, I know what I find, I know what I can do funnily, I know what I do well, like the last 2 or so years. And Dave Chappelle actually said it takes you 10 years of comedy to actually literally find your voice and to actually really be funny originally and be yourself. So it has taken me about 10 years to actually literally find my own voice. But it's been a long road, and it's consistency, and I love it. And finding the light, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's so pertinent. You know, you can only be the second best version of somebody else.
Yes.
Right? So if you try and copy a Ricky Gervais or a Dave Chappelle.
Wait, I'm so glad you said Ricky Gervais, because can I just tell you a quick story? So I love that man. He's like insanely, he's my inspiration for everything. And then back in the day, like 5 or 6 years ago, doing comedy in Durban, I was like, I want to be Ricky Gervais in Durban. And I tried to do Ricky Gervais jokes, and people walked out and they were very angry and almost complained on social media, because you can't do Ricky Gervais jokes in Durban. You cannot. It's like, especially
really,
not Ricky, no, you can't do Ricky Gervais jokes. No, you can't. I learned that the hard way. You can't do Ricky Gervais jokes in Durban to a Durban audience, especially if you're not Ricky. If he came here, he could do it, because an audience is expecting Ricky Gervais jokes from Ricky Gervais. When they come to watch Rory and a lineup of like 8 other comedians, they're not expecting to hear Ricky Gervais humor. I was like, no, you can't do that, Rory. That's a really bad idea. And then I was like heartbroken. How am I going to be funny, because I want to be like him? And I was like, no, you don't have to be like him. No, I don't have to. Now just be like me.
So something about comedy, you live and you die by the sword, right? So if I produce an episode now, it's going to come out in a week or two's time. There's no audience in front of me, so I get the feedback 2-3 weeks down the line. With comedy, it's instant and it's in front of you. You're on stage and you have to respond to the reaction of the audience. And it must be quite an emotional roller coaster because a joke is either going to land or it's not. And you have to deal with that feedback immediately, which is so unusual and so different to every other form of entertainment. You know, you think of what we watch on TV. How do you deal with that roller coaster and that kaleidoscope of emotions?
It's terrifying. So, inexperienced Rory, you tell a story, the joke doesn't land, you panic, and you can see the panic immediately. Like, you forget where you are in your stories. You're like, oh, what's wrong going to tell now? Then you panic. Then you start focusing on people that aren't laughing. Never, if you're listening to this and you ever go into comedy, please, my word of advice for you is, if you've got an audience and there's one person not laughing, don't be like a moth to a flame. You always look at that person because you're like, I will make you laugh, and you stare at the person. It ruins your entire vibe, ruins your entire gig. Don't look. There's always one person laughing, even if it's your mom. Focus on your mom laughing, and you'll carry on. Just your confidence will come from the people that are laughing at you. Don't look at the people who are not laughing. First thing. Secondly, sometimes you die. Sometimes you just die on stage. I opened for Barry Hilton about 3 or 4 years ago at the Barnyard, Suncoast. Sold out. I went out there like confident about all my jokes. I'm like, I'm going to smash it tonight. Opening for Barry Hilton, lacquer, everyone. Walked out there, died a death like I've never died in my whole life in front of the whole Barnyard, Suncoast. Eventually, I was suffering. I just laughed and said, bring on you, Barry Hilton, whatever. And Barry Hilton made a joke about it. Then afterwards, I went to him. I said, listen, bro, I died, eh? And he says, you know what? The best thing you've just done is you've come to me to say that you died because you died, bro. You fell on your ass. Like, that was bad. And then we unpacked it. So now he's still my mentor. He helps me with everything. I send him jokes, whatever. He talks to me all the time. Like, he helps me a lot now. So from then, he said, I will help you because you're asking for help. And most comedians are like, oh, well, I died. Oh, it's the audience, not me. My jokes were great. The audience was cuck. He was like, no, you died because your timing was out. Your jokes were too clever. Like, you're trying to be ridiculous. You helped me a lot. So that's the second thing, you're going to die. Like, trust me, as a comedian, you have to die. Don't let the good sets go to your head. Don't let the bad sets go to your heart. Final thing I'll say on comedy, I'd rather die on stage because then it's, let's say you say a bad joke on stage, like the joke doesn't land, it's cuck or whatever, no one laughs and you carry on. It stays there. If you do a cuck thing on social media or you offend someone on social media or, heaven forbid, say something you shouldn't have said, and you've got no control, it's gone. It's gone, it's shared. Now an auntie in Alberton is now not laughing at your joke and thinks you're a cuck comedian. When you do it in the room, it's only those people that are like, oh, this joke's a cuck comedian, they go home and forget about it. When it's on social media and that joke is there forever and it's a cuck joke, that's worse. I'd much rather die in a room and get over it and then die on social media and then it's just shared a million times and like, yo, he's that cuck comedian, Rory, you did a cuck joke on social media. No, just I'd rather die. And you're going to die. A batsman's going to go out for a golden duck. Yeah. A bowler's going to get 6 sixes in and over one day. Like, it happens. And then you just move on from it and just, what did I do wrong? Oh, my timing was out. Or maybe that joke wasn't relevant for this audience. Like, they know nothing about Dubai. Why am I joking about Dubai? Yeah. Just learn from it. But yeah, it's terrifying. It is. You said kaleidoscope, roller coaster. Perfectly put. It's terrifying.
Well, kudos to you for persevering on this 12-year journey that you're now on, and you're now seeing the fruits of your labor and dying a death by 1,000 cuts up there. But I wanted to ask you about stereotypes, right? So we're in I would say, a very unique phase in society when you talk about cancel culture, etc., and it becomes harder and harder to decipher the wood from the trees. Where can we go? Where can we not go? And in a country as diverse as South Africa, and in actual fact KwaZulu-Natal, I've noticed that we take quite a lot of pleasure in stereotypes. You know, we think it's funny. Yeah. And so I wanted to know from you as a comedian, how do you feel about stereotypes? And then if so, where's the line?
It's a good question. So I don't really feed much into stereotypes that much in my comedy. I tell stories about my own life and what I've done and how I find it funny. I tell stories about South Africa and South Africans, where we've been and where we find it funny. Stereotypes is very, very difficult to get into because you're going to offend someone somewhere. And someone's going to say, you shouldn't have said that. That's stereotypical of this and this and this. But then, it's a dangerous space. It's such a fine line. And I don't want to go on that line because I'm too scared of...
What's the other side of the line?
Yeah, and...
Once you're the other side, you can't come back.
And you have to stay there and like, no, like, yeah.
So like a perfect example, man, you know that auntie on Fly Fair that went all bananas?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the articles that I read or saw on that was they said that she's gone full Karen on that chick. Okay. Now, I don't have to explain to you what that means.
Totally.
So that is a stereotype. You understand that Karen is this middle-aged white auntie that wants to speak to the manager about fucking everything.
Yes.
You know? And like, so that for me is not offensive. I think that's bloody hilarious.
I think so too.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I think that is fair game for me. The moment it becomes, there's a hierarchy of superiority and inferiority, you're putting somebody down. You might be putting on an accent that might imply that somebody's low in intelligence.
Yes.
You know, that's offsides for me. But something where, you know, you're talking about something funny that the Indian community that you've noticed in Durban does, and they laugh and they whatever. Like for me, that's totally fair game. And I think that's why, as a society, you look at where America is as a society, for example, and you compare it to us. I think we've done such a tremendous job of being able to engage and to accept one another for our diversity. Like, we've got a hell of a diverse country. And yet we all seem to pretty much, by and large, get along well with each other, right? And I think having a sense of humor is a massive contributing factor in that.
I think our greatest survival kit ever, South Africans, is our sense of humor. Greatest survival. We've been through like the darkest, literally the darkest times. And I'll tell you, at the moment for me, it's not easy being a comedian anymore, because we're getting everything right at the moment, touch wood.
Yeah. So,
like, back in the day, I could laugh. Like, there's so many jokes about everything. Oh, actually, funny enough, I'll tell you. So, I used to sell load shedding T-shirts back in the day. Well, not back in, it seems like back in the day. Just a few minutes ago, we had load shedding. It had 100% South African in the South African flag font.
Yeah.
And it had the load shedding schedule on it, on the front.
Yes.
Sold like hotcakes, 200 Rand each. Hotcakes everywhere. Sell all over. People sending them to Canada, Australia, England, all over families all over the world. Lovely, selling. I was like, okay, yes, these things are doing really well. I'm making a lack of money. So I'm going to take all the money, the cash that I'd made, stashed in my couch, which I learned from someone, and I bought a whole lot more of these T-shirts. So like, now I'm going to buy 1,000 of these T-shirts. We're going to sell these things. Yes, like about 1,000. 2 days later, load shedding disappears. Oh, I got 997 load shedding T-shirts sitting at home in a box that no one wants because there's no such thing as load shedding anymore. So there's first thing, like, we laugh at ourselves, and I'm not saying this out loud. Don't cancel me. Would be nice if load shedding came back for 2 days so I can sell some shirts. But as a comedian, even Bafana, I used to joke about them. Like I had a joke a few years ago, also a Springbok joke, I'll tell you now. I had a joke about Bafana a few years ago. I said that when they go to tournaments like AFCON, like their family goes to the airport to say goodbye to them, they're going to AFCON now, they're going off overseas, their family doesn't leave the airport, they just wait there for them to come back, because they'll come back like 3 hours later. They don't go anywhere. And now you can't make a joke anymore because it's not true. It's not applicable. I said, I think in 2016, when we had lost to Italy, the Springboks, and we had lost to New Zealand, I think 52-3 or something, I said, it would be nice for us to host the World Cup again so we can qualify.
Yeah.
Hey, how badly has that aged?
Yeah.
Look at us now, 4 World Cups.
Yeah.
In 2016, it was applicable to make a joke about the Springboks because they were so cuck. Now, like, just, you can't, the Springboks, Bafana, no, Banyana, no, you can't, and load shedding, no, it's like, oh, what do I joke about? Oh, wait, my own life. That's funny enough. So, we're so good at the kaka things are, like I always joke about it, we made beer from pineapples. Like, you can't put us down. Like, we'll keep on rising above everything. Take our alcohol away, we'll make beer. Take our electricity away, we'll make a plan. Like, we're resilient. Oh, that's the word, resilient.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for, resilient.
I had a client of mine say to me yesterday, he's like, oh, did I touch you on your studio? Do you remember that?
Yeah! Oh, that's classic.
Do you remember the don't touch me on my studio? Like, there's just so many of these things that South Africans just find so funny.
Oh, that's so
and
good.
It just travels, eh? And people don't forget about those things.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's, I mean, I was like, flip, man, that's been ages ago.
That's over a decade ago, at least.
But still, people, like, I don't have to explain to you, don't touch me on my studio. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's so South African, I love it.
That is like one of the best things ever, man. It really is one of the best things ever.
You can say to South African anywhere in the world, like,
don't touch me on my studio.
I was like, what? We'll get it. Like, I got you. I know what you mean. Thanks. Cool.
So there's something called the Overton window. Are you familiar with the Overton window?
No, I'm going to sound stupid now.
Like, no. So it's a political theory that that basically outlines the spectrum of acceptability. So, like, if you push the Overton window, as far as from a comedic standpoint, you are making jokes about something that might be a little on the edge, but you're pushing the boundaries of then what would be considered acceptable in the future.
Yes.
Right? So what responsibility do you think comedians have to push that envelope to allow us to open up a dialogue about things that are tough to talk about.
I think it's massive responsibility, your responsibility first, and it is, I wouldn't say our job, but someone has to just push a little bit. Otherwise, you know what happens? Self-censorship. Censoring ourselves from everything. You can't say this, can't say that, can't do that, can't think about this, can't do that. We have to have someone just there, just a little bit, keeping I like the word dialogue, keeping that dialogue open. It's a massive responsibility, and it's a big role comedians play. Not just comedians, anyone in the arts, I suppose, anyone who writes, a writer, comedians, anyone who writes, even someone who writes a column in a newspaper. It's also your job. Someone who has a big, let's say, social media following and has a lot of writings. We have to just keep people thinking all the time and not, I love that Overton window. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like we can't, if it closes, then what do we, I've just learned a lot now. Thank you. It's making my brain go. At any given time, I have like 105 tabs open in my head. Now it's 107 because now I've got Overton window there, and it's brilliant. I'm going to think about this all day. And I'm going to try and implement it in my comedy. Like, how can each comedy set just open this thing a little bit more?
Yeah,
that can be my responsibility, my little mission to myself. Each comedy set, how do I open this little window 1%?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just to provoke some thought, People find it funny, and they go home and they think about it, and they think, shit. It's funny, but he also has a point.
Yeah.
That's the purpose, right?
Yes.
To get some people to think about it and be like, so actually not only are you making them forget about their troubles at home or whatever, you're making them laugh, but at the same time, you're shifting perspectives, you're challenging their perceptions on how they view the world and that sort of thing. And that's why, so Jimmy Carr is one of my favorites. He's pretty out there. Like he gets dark, man.
Didn't he do a show in Durban sometime?
He did. I didn't go. Did you go to that show?
Yes, I can remember. I just remember it was a long time ago, and I can remember him saying he told a joke, and he has it laugh.
When he draws the air and he's like a hardy-da. Yeah,
that's it. Sheldon Cooper. And then he's like, okay, there's 4 people walking out. I'll keep going. Let's try another one. And he goes, I was like, yo, Jimmy Carr, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. No, that window, he doesn't have a window. He bashes the whole sliding door open.
So the dark humor, I read a study about people that have very traumatic jobs, right? So I think people like firefighters, and nurses in ERs, and that sort of thing. And one of the best ways that they cope with the stress and the fragility of life is through dark humor. That is their way to come out of it at the end of the day, so that they can actually give the best of themselves to that job, right? And then it further reaffirms how important humor is, and being able to laugh and being able to smile and being able to have a sense of humor. And in that book, it said, we're not making light of a dark situation. We're bringing light to a dark situation. And I was like, my mind was just blown. I was like, that is such a good way of reframing something that I was like, flip, that is just spot on. Like, and that is so spot on.
But then the person arguing against would be like, we need to ask the person or the group of people who that dark joke is based on for their opinion.
Yeah.
So we're shining a light on a dark situation, but the people in that dark situation might not find the light in that. You understand?
Yeah.
So there's always 2 ways.
I hear you.
Yeah. So it's very delicate. I don't go anywhere near.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. So tell me, when is the last time that you laughed, like properly laughed?
Properly laughed.
Like you hosed yourself.
Yeah. So I did recently watch Ricky Gervais talking about him, that opening he did.
Yeah.
What was it? It was when he just took the piss out of everyone in the room.
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes.
Yes.
That laugh kills me dead every time. Every time. To be in such a position, to be so sure of yourself and so confident of your comedic ability and intelligence, to stand in front of all these famous, rich, massive people and just go, bah, 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 and go, I don't care, this is my last gig I ever do. I don't care. That properly laughed. And then I also laughed, I was watching an SA Betway 20 game, and then you watch the audience, you've seen the spectators that catch with one hand.
Yes.
There's one guy in Durban here, with one hand, spectacular, And then 3 balls later, you see a player on the field with 2 hands. It's like, how must a player feel? Like, he's dropping a ball with 2 hands, and you just see a drunk person in the stadium with a bunny chow and a beer in one hand, catches one hand, and then literally it was a sitter. It went to the guy at point. It was a sitter, and it went straight through his hands. I was like, no, man, how does that guy feel? He's just seen a drunk kind of audience catch. When I got that thought, I started laughing out loud. I was like, Rory, you're laughing at your own joke now. I'm like, it's great. I need to put this into a video. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Which I did, yes.
Do you laugh at your own jokes?
No. So, funnily enough, people ask that. When I put a video out on social media, like, I have absolutely no idea if it's funny or not. I'll record something in my car. I'll drive to work, think about something happens on the road or something and laugh. And I'm like, okay, I'll record the video when I get to work, quickly record it. When I post it, I have no idea if it's funny. I'm like, this might be cuck. I have no idea. It was in my head. So most of the time I don't. Unless the only time I do laugh at my jokes if it's a really bad pun. Then I'll laugh out loud and I'll tell everyone the joke like 1,000,000 times everywhere. That's the bad pun over and over again. But when it's like a story kind of joke, I'm like, is that funny though? I don't know. Let's just post it and see. Like, okay, clearly it is. Thank you very much. I'm very funny. But puns I laugh at.
So the problem with puns is the harder you try not to laugh, the funnier it gets.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we were at a dinner, about 3 months ago. You know exactly where I'm going with this. And there were two ladies, like middle-aged, and they were talking about their different culinary skills, right? and she said to her mate, talking to me about her mate who's sitting next to her, no, so-and-so is a master baker. And I was like, sorry, what?
No.
No, she is a master baker. And I had to get up and leave. I was like, please excuse me. And then I was like, I'm gonna die 1,000 deaths if I don't get up off this table. So I went and I left, and I was like, excuse me, I just need the toilet. And I literally went outside, and I pissed myself laughing for 5 minutes.
Just laughing
on my own.
Oh, that's funny.
And then I came back, and even still, like, you're sitting there and you're having your lunch, and now I'm still thinking, Master Baker.
Master Baker. Don't think about it. It's
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
how did she not hear it?
How did she not hear it?
How did you not hear that, man?
So then I brought it to her attention. I saw them in a more professional setting later that week. And I was like, you know what you said, right? And I told them, and I was like, again, like I was dying. They didn't think it was funny at all.
That's hilarious. I would leave.
So like, I get what you're saying about, the harder you try and keep it in. But also the same with the podcast. Like sometimes I was like, I don't know if this episode is going to do well. And then, people listen to it.
Yeah.
And then there's other times when I'm like, man, this is gold.
Yeah, and then nothing.
And then nothing.
Oh, that is the worst. When I think this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, it's them, it's the audience, it's them, it's wrong timing or just something else.
There's times when I'm like, holy smokes, guys, like this is like some prophetic, like philosophical shit. Like,
no one cares.
Like this is gold, man. And they don't want to.
Like, let me just put 500. Let me boost it somewhere. Maybe they haven't seen it. Let me just put some money. Still only 12 views ish. Maybe it was. No, but it wasn't cuck. Maybe it was cuck.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing is you've got to persevere, right? Even if you don't have it figured out at the time, it's about just putting one foot in front of the other. It's about doing the next episode. It's about doing the next gig. It's about doing the next whatever in the gym. It's about doing the next workout.
Yeah, same thing. You're in the gym, same thing. Same with, I'm a runner as well.
Yeah.
So same with running. You just got to run, keep going. Yeah. It's just, people want, you see, we have drive-through mentality where you want to see results now. Like I did this thing, where's the results?
Yeah.
I put this thing out, why is there no views? I put a video out yesterday, why is it 12 views? No, because you only did one video. No one, you need to do at least 100.
Yes.
100? Yeah, at least 100. And then I might know who you are. Really? What's the thing about gym? You only see results after how many weeks or 12 weeks, something?
Yeah, so the muscles will start to change 4 to 6 weeks, depending.
You see? I don't know, I have 4 days, please sort me out.
Yeah.
Basically, fix me.
Yeah, exactly. How did you feel about your running journey? You did comrades, didn't you?
Yes.
And?
Funny you should ask. Actually, my medal is somewhere here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's in every one of your videos.
Yes, yeah. So I will find any excuse. Funny you bring it up now. Any excuse to bring it into any conversation that I've run Comrades Marathon, any conversation. You can say to me, yes, bro, I'm hungry. I'll be like, hungry? Flip, man, 62 Ks into Comrades. Did I say you'd run Comrades? Oh, man, I was starving. Halfway through Comrades, I was starving. You can say, bro, I like the new Ford Ranger. I'll be like, the Ford Ranger? Where did I see one? Drummond, man. I saw one at Drummond when I was running Comrades. Did I tell you I've run Comrades? Sorry, man, did I tell you I've run Comrades? I saw one at Drummond. Bro, anything. I go knocking door to door. hi there, got 2 minutes to talk about our savior, the Comrades Marathon. Please let me in. I've got a thing where, so I flew to Joburg. This is a true story. Like last year sometime. And then, you walk through the machine and it goes beep, 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 beep. And you're going to take your belt off and everything off, your watch off and your laptop out the laptop bag. And it always goes beep, beep. And you feel guilty. Like, is it the chocolate I stole when I was 9? Is it in my pocket? Like, that bar one I stole is probably still on me. Like, so that
the sniffer dogs are coming.
Yeah, like, oh, it's the chocolate I stole from the spa. And then you're like, oh, and then eventually you go back. And then I'm like, sorry, man. And I was like, oh, sorry, it's just my Comrades Marathon medal in my back pocket. Sorry, everyone. It's just my medal. It's just, my Comrades Marathon medal, everyone. Sorry, man. I don't know why. Sorry. Just tell everyone in the queue there. This is my medal. I got 3 of these, actually. This one is in my pocket. I don't know where the other 2 are. Maybe they're in my other pockets. Let me try again. No beep. Thank goodness. So anyway, Comrades Marathon, any excuse, I love it. I've tried 5 times, and I've finished 3 times. And one of the things, bits of advice I'll give you, when you do Comrades Marathon, don't buy a house on the Comrades Marathon route.
Okay.
Because you'll be 64 Ks in and think it's a Sunday afternoon. What am I doing? I live just over there.
Like
I'm literally 2 Ks away. Like the end is 28 Ks away. My house is 2 Ks away. But the one time I didn't finish, I had 6 hours to run 30 kilometers. Like you can do that on your hands. And I was like, I'm going home. So
Really?
yes, and I went home. Literally, I went home. I was like,
You packed it in.
The Everton Road turn-off in Upper Highway. Everton Road turn-off, down Everton Road, 2 Ks and I'm home. Bye. And I sat there like, now I'm home. Ish, now what? And the other time I didn't finish, see, I'm just telling you, don't even ask me, unsolicited, I'm just going into Comrades Marathon stories.
Yeah, we're going for it.
So unsolicited, I'll just tell you Comrades Marathon stories until dark. Up run, which a lot of people don't finish the up run, and it's not because it's uphill, it's because the finish is in PMB. Anyway, so I hadn't eaten, I'm freaking cancelled. I hadn't eaten, I was in a hurry to finish. Nutrition, as you know, with gymming and everything is important. You have to eat like every hour, Comrades. Hadn't eaten, nothing, I was tired, was 70 Ks in, whatever. And I remember seeing a sign somewhere, this last thing, I remember seeing a sign or road marking, it said 72 kilometers. And it was so bad, it's like, looked at it and I stopped. I was like, have I run 72? Or there's 72 still to go? I have no idea. I'm trying to think back, how long has today been? It's slightly dark, but that could be because it's morning or it could be because it's evening. So I went and asked the woman, I said, sorry man, is this sign? She goes, whoa, you better sit down. It's the best advice I've heard all year. So I sit down and then, with running, marathon runners will know there's a thing called buses. You get buses, like a 4-hour bus, a 3-hour bus. So these people at flags, and they take you along the line in different times. Like you get a 3-hour marathon bus, 2.5-hour marathon bus, 4-hour marathon bus. Comrades, you get like a 9-hour bus, join the bus and they finish. The best bus at Comrades Marathon, I've been on it, is a Baylor's bus. They give you a lift straight to the end. They pick you up. Like, you finish now, okay, please, my lift. The Baylor's bus comes, the woman gets out, whatever. Like, are you sure you want to get onto this bus? I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'm 100% sure. I don't even know where I am on the bus. It's probably Tuesday. The bus. Lekker. She goes, okay. You know what they do then? Then they go, they take your number off you, obviously, because now
Yeah.
They go, rip it in half. Fine. Do you know what the worst part is? The worse than that, they give it back to you. Yeah. Take your torn failure home with you, your torn number that you've worked so hard for. Take it home and go show your family how you didn't finish this race today. You get on the bus, Grace. And then
That's
on the
cool,
bus,
eh?
and on the bus, sat next to a woman, she was on the phone. What? Oh, wrong number, sorry. Like, don't cry, you didn't finish. Try again next year, it's fine. Yeah.
So the times that you didn't complete it, what times were those?
What times?
I mean, what? So first try, second try.
So first try I finished. Second try I didn't.
Was that the Everton Road try?
That was the one, the 72 kilometers away.
Oh, that was the same. Okay, yeah.
Third time was Everton Road, didn't finish. And then 4 and 5, 2 in a row.
So personal growth, eh?
Yes, there we go.
After the second and the third.
Thank you for finding the light in that dark story. Thank you, yes.
And you're doing it this year?
100%. I'm doing it this year, and I'm doing 2 Oceans this year.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah. So I'm running with Hollywood Athletics, and we're going to 2 Oceans all together, the whole team. I run on the same team as Gerard Steyn now, thank you very much.
Oh, what? Jeez.
Yes.
You're elite.
Yes,
An elite athlete.
I'm elite athlete. Thank you, in the H batch at Comrades. The H batch, you know how the batches in Comrades work. You know if you...
I stay as far away from the Comrades as I possibly can.
Please. You know what happens? Once you do one, you can't stop.
Is it?
Because once this side works, okay, you do one Comrades Marathon, they're like, okay, there's a medal. But if you come back and do another one, back to back, we'll give you the finish medal and another medal. We'll give you 2 medals back to back. And you're like, oh, now I've done 2. I'm almost halfway to 10. I might as well carry on. Like, I just carry on going almost to 10 now.
And you're terrible at maths then, if that's the logic.
Yeah. This is what I thought I was 72 Ks in when I wasn't. I was 70. Like, oh, I'll stay there. And now, like, I can't imagine not doing it. I could never imagine, like, I'm going to be there every year. Like,
So
first
that's
person.
like your thing, eh?
I love it. Love it. And, like, I don't run to win or run to, like, do sub 9 or sub 8. I run to have a jolt and finish. And chat to people on the road, have a lucky day out, sing songs with people, finish. I've got a Vic Clapper medal, 3 of those. That's the one you get basically an attendance award. You get for finishing. That's the one I've got.
Okay.
So Vic Clapper, it's beautiful. Nice thing is no one's going to steal it.
Yeah.
Nice thing is Kat Disdain's never got one in her life. She'll never have the thing in her life. Like, these elite runners can be as fancy as they like. They'll never get a Vic Clapper medal in their whole entire life. I've got 3 of them. Thank you. That's my
Jeepers.
claim to fame.
It's like hen's teeth, those things.
Yes,
eh?
I love it. Like hen's teeth for Kat Disdain and Pete Vriesma. They will never have one of these. Thank you very much. Yes.
Do you still lecture?
No, I used to lecture
You used
quite
to
a lot.
lecture, eh? Tell me about your lecturing. I wanted to know if you ever tried any of your material out in your lectures. Were they like your were they your little comedic guinea pigs?
I did sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I did sometimes. I tried little jokes on them. And then also, funny you should mention that because, okay, I lectured in PE. I lectured at Varsity College and I lectured at Boston Media House. Funny you mentioned guinea pigs because often I put jokes on social media as a testing ground. So things I'll write little one-liners and then see, and especially on Facebook, people can comment back. And then I'm like, I'll find something funny about that bottle over there, for instance, and I'll write a joke about it. Then people will add to it. I'm like, oh, that's another point. And they're like, thank you, Susan and Nosipo and MCZ, and thank you for helping me build my joke, a one-line into a 5-minute set now, because people add to it, oh, and this, and this, and this, and this. I'm like, thank you, everyone. I know it's funny, and I've built on it as well. And I'll do that to my students too, actually. Like, let's tell some jokes. Oh, yeah. Actually, no. I need to apologize to my students now, actually. I did it a lot.
Is it?
Yeah,
In
very
hindsight.
sorry. Yeah. Very sorry, students. I'm very sorry, students, for putting you through that. Please forgive me. I hope you learned something, how not to do comedy. Thank you.
Because that's always something that I hear from, the great comics, the guys that do Netflix specials, the Ricky Gervais, the Chris Rocks, the Jimmy Carrs. They all go out there and they do like small gigs, and they'll run different, and that's their training ground. That's when they test. Okay, that joke lands, that joke doesn't.
Yeah.
And they're prepared to sift through all the cuck jokes to then a year later then produce a Netflix special or produce a worldwide tour when they've got that like packaged, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really, you've got to have such a stomach for it, man, to like get to the point where you're like, okay, you know that these jokes by and large are going to land. This is like the finished product for now in terms of current affairs. It's quite it like blows my mind, eh?
It takes a lot of deaths to get there. They call it like, Ricky Gervais does a new material tour. I'm doing a new material tour around the UK, so he tries out his new material. I saw...
That's such a clever way to do it, by the way.
Yeah, my new material tour.
Because people know what they're in for then.
Yes.
Like they know there's going to be...
It.
Yeah.
Chester Williams, Conrad Cocktail, Chester Williams.
I was like, Chester Williams is a comic now?
Isn't he late? I think he's, Chester Missing and Conrad Cock, they also do it often. They do like a new material thing in Cape Town. It's brilliant. People know what they're coming. I think it's free of charge as well. So just those shows free of charge. Test out new material. You know if it's going to work or not. In Durban, we don't have that much of a comedy scene to do that. You've got to try your new stuff. So what happens is, if I need to try new stuff at a big show, I'll do my good stuff first. Try some new stuff there in the middle, and if it doesn't work, you sort of know where you're going, and you always finish big. So you have you package it within the stuff that you know that works. So if you have your new stuff in the middle somewhere, so no one remembers the middle stuff. Oh, it didn't land. Oh, well. And also another thing about new material and stuff is I started with a one-man show called The Running Joke last year, like comrades-ish time. And the thing was like 45 minutes long. Now it's an hour and 10 minutes because you just added to it so much more. The more you tell the stories, the more like, even in conversation, you make one-liners you didn't plan. And you're like, and I record all my comedy sets on my phone. So, and sometimes even video record them. So I go back and I listen or watch and like, okay, that landed really well. Let's drop that. I've never said that before and that really worked. Let's keep that line in there that came out of nowhere. I don't know where that line came from, but keep it in because it worked. And you add and you, so I would never write a whole new set, I don't think, but my set is vastly different to what it was a year ago. It's molded into something else where some of the stories have gone, there's new stories added on there, and new things happen in your life that you can add in. So, yeah.
What do you hope for people to take away from your comedy, be it your clips on Instagram or when they come and see you on a live show?
So I just hope some of my videos and my comedy shows just leave there happier than what you were before you watched it. And whatever it is that you're going through right now, because we're all going through some sort of cuck at the moment, there's always some sort of cuck and drama. If my video is 90 seconds, I hope that for that 90 seconds, it took you away from that, and then maybe you shared it with someone and they took them 90 seconds away. Same as a comedy show. I hope for the hour and a half that you were there, it took you away from the cuck and drama that you had at home. And also, in saying that, we are so grateful as comedians for people who leave their house and come to comedy shows because there's so much else to do. Like, think of people, parents who have kids. Now they must get a babysitter. They must not be working that night. They must not be sick. They must have money in the bank. So we are so grateful for people who will leave their house to come to a comedy show and make all those plans to come watch comedy and then go home. Because less and less people are doing it, funnily enough. It's just,
Really?
there's so much else to do.
Yeah.
There's so much else. All comedians are saying it's so difficult to sell tickets these days. Well, some of us, not all everyone, but because there's so much else for people to do. There's Netflix, there's Apple TV, there's Amazon, you can sit at home with your family, you can have a bra, there's rugby all the time. It's also, funnily enough, talking about rugby, you've always got to plan your comedy shows around rugby as well. So, wait, the question was, message, be happier, forget your troubles, and laugh, basically. Just be happier than what you were before that comedy clip hits you. And if you're stressing about something, let's say it was load shedding and I made a joke about it, let's help you also find the funny in that. Like there's always I always say there's funny in everything. There's always, you should look for it. There's funny in everything.
Do you not think it's funnier when you're all together in the same room? Do you know what I mean? So like
100%.
like you do a joke on Instagram and somebody, I might chuckle, but I'm in the comfort of my own home. Like there's no vibe, there's no energy. But then when you're there in a community with a whole bunch of people that also are there to just enjoy and to laugh, then it elevates that energy in the room, and those jokes are heightened at the same time.
100%.
So it's a different experience.
Totally, it's like watching sports. Same thing. Watch it at home alone or with a group of people. Like that shared experience with comedy is it's amazing. And also, as a comedian, when people are laughing and having fun, it boosts you as well, and then you have more energy and you become funnier and funnier. Like definitely, like anything in a group like that, 100%. Like a sold-out comedy room, and I'd rather do a room this size with 200 people in it than a massive room with 2,000 people in it. I like cozy. A lot of comedians will say, I did a room in Cape Town last year. It was 120 people. It was literally wall to wall 120. It was the best energy ever, packed, and just like energy. Rather have that than 5,000 people. I'd rather have 5,000 people, but not in a big room. This one, yes, please. 5,000 people, please come to my comedy show. Thank you. I'm not chasing you away. Thank you.
Something I like to ask my guests, one of my favorite questions that I ask myself on a regular basis as well. Is there anything that you've changed your mind on recently?
That's a very good question.
It's one of my favorites.
Nice. So, well, not recently, but within the last year or two at least, changed my mind about South Africa. Like, we are a nation of 100% champions, and there was a time when I was thinking, is this the right place to be? Things are not... And now I'm on my Twitter X bio, it says, being South African is a flex. Like, I'm so pro-South African. I'm like, at one stage, I was thinking, yes, like, what's happening here? What are we doing? And then I was like, you know what? No, this is like, I can't imagine living anywhere else, being anyone else, not being South African, not being a Springbok supporter, Proteas, Banyana, Bafana. Like, I can't imagine anything worse than waking up and being like a French rugby supporter. Can you imagine anything worse? Or like, no. Like, and that was a massive change. And it came across on my social media as well, on my videos. I'm like, we are champions. We need to live as champions and remind ourselves that we're champions every single day. Because chasing the sun, I'm going to reference that quickly, that thing about the Rugby World Cup, whatever. So the reason why a lot of people don't understand why it is so massive for Springboks to win the Rugby World Cup is because the stories of all those people, from where they've come from, where they've been, like come from nothing backgrounds, from nothing, like nothing.
That Mapimpi story from the first one.
Dude, like from literally heartbreak and nothing to this sort of thing. Then, like, no disrespect, but like 100% first world country who's had everything, like, it's a different thing. Like, I think also, I'm going to get philosophical and I'm just making this up as I go along now. But on the field of play, I think all those factors, when you are on your try line defending and it's a World Cup quarterfinal and you're 1 point behind, all those things play a role in you fighting for that line. Like, I've come from cuck and drama all my life. This Frenchman is not going to cross that line. I've been through worse than this Frenchman trying to cross this line. He's not going to come near that line. I think all those things play into it. when every scrum, the scrum penalties, is like, I'm not scrumming for this game, I'm scrumming for all the cuck and drama I've been through my entire life to get here. These Englishmen are not going to push me. I'm like, sorry, you're the smallest thing in my life right now. Like, I've been through so much.
Yeah.
Your little front row here is nothing compared to what I've been through. Like,
Exactly.
that is like, that geest that we have as South Africans. And like, I'm speaking from a place of privilege here, like, please.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so that's the thing. Like, South Africans, like, we are so resilient, we're amazing, we are so good. And I just hope that, wish and hope that we can all see it. Like, just see it. Like, yeah.
Do you know what's the most South African word? You've said it a few times
Yes.
now. No, ish.
Ish, yeah, ish, yeah, ish.
It's like the most versatile word, and only South Africans know it. Eh?
I want
like it's
lottery.
like
Ish.
like if it's hot, ish. And like if somebody let you down, ish.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. I didn't even know I was saying it.
Like
Yeah.
everybody knows about ish.
Oh, yeah.
That is like
so
the
good.
most South African word. I love it.
Ish.
I love ish.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know I was saying it. Thank you for pointing it out.
Rory, where can people find you? I mean, I'm already following you on Instagram, but I'll attach the link in the show notes. But where can people find you if they want to catch more funnies and if they want to follow you, perhaps if you've got shows on the horizon, anything like that?
So please do. So my following is easy. It's at Rory Petzer, Petzer. Instagram is at Rory Mark, which is Mark with the C, because that's my second name. But if you search Rory, just search Rory Petzer, and you'll find me everywhere. And my next show is coming up on the 19th of March at Thomas More College in Upper Highway in Kloof. It's a fundraiser for the water polo team who's going overseas. And that's the only
very
show I
cool.
have planned for now. But I'm planning more. I'm planning busy writing another one-man show, which is called something else. It might be the C word. Not that C word. Other C word that I say in all my videos. That C word.
Champions.
Yes. So then that's happening. And I'm doing a show in Cape Town before Two Oceans, but that's Cape Town. That's in April. But I'm busy writing a new one as we speak. But please find me. Search Rory Petzer. RoryPetzer. I love you. Cheers.
Rory, thanks so much, man. Been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for all the positivity and the light that you're putting out to us.
Thank
we
you,
really
man.
appreciate it, and I appreciate it.
It's really cool to be here. Thanks for having me. Such a privilege. Thanks so much.
I'll see you later. Not so fast. It is such a cool feeling when I see that Spotify subscribers number increase on the weekly, when I see the number of people listening to the episodes going up, and it really makes a huge difference. Have you ever done something and you feel so good when you get rewarded by some positive feedback and you really feel like you're making a difference? That's what it means to me, and that's how I feel. And it goes a long way if you like the show, share it, and subscribe it. Thank you humbly, and I'll see you next week.